The 16th President of these United States, the great emancipator, the rail splitter, the tyrant, Honest Abe, or simply one of the greatest men who ever lived. Throughout his political career, Lincoln evolved from a relative outsider to a real political leader. His relationship with New York was a roller coaster of ups and downs. The Lincoln in New York exhibit highlights some of these most memorable moments. Lincoln gave a speech at Cooper Union on February 27, 1860, in front of an audience of 1,500 people. This speech served as an opportunity to change Lincoln's image and speaking New York, participating in a lecture series at the Plymouth Church. Using examples throughout history and constitutional law, Lincoln showed that slavery needed to be limited. The Cooper Union speech placed Lincoln at the forefront of the 1860 election. Lincoln surprised many, emerging as an eloquent orator.
Once Lincoln was elected president, the South seceded as they had promised. The war began as one about preserving the Union until Lincoln issued one of his most notable pieces of legislation, the Emancipation Proclamation, on January 1, 1863. This proclamation freed all the slaves that lived in the states in rebellion or in the southern states in the Confederacy. The Emancipation Proclamation did not affect slavery in the states that were still loyal to the Union or the Confederate states which were under Union control. Hence, Lincoln only freed the slaves he didn't have jurisdiction over. The Emancipation Proclamation changed the goal of the Civil War from one of preserving the Union into a war with a focus on freeing the slaves. This altered Lincoln's legacy into the great emancipator, which he is still known as today.
The Emancipation Proclamation, followed by the National Conscription Act, which drafted all able-bodied young men, excluding the wealthy, who could buy their way out of it, angered many New Yorkers. In the North, the worst mob violence in American history took place in New York City in July 1863. During 4 days of rioting, mobs lynched at least a dozen African-American men, destroyed draft offices, burned and looted black neighborhoods and the homes of leading Republicans and abolitionists.
Lincoln feared his steadily declining public image would cost him the re-election. However, in the fall of 1864, General Sherman seized Atlanta, and the war effort was decisively in the North's favor. Lincoln was re-elected, excited to begin Reconstruction.
On April 15, 1865, at 7:22 in the morning, Abraham Lincoln died from a shot to the head he received the night before at Ford's Theater. New York, which didn't even give Lincoln its vote in 1864, was never Lincoln's biggest supporter. However, when the news of his death reached New York City, a wave of complete mourning washed over the people.
Shot on Good Friday, it was believed that Lincoln was sent by God when the country needed him most and was taken away from them just as they had tasted victory. The New York Times said a stroke from heaven, laying the whole of the city in instant ruin, could not have startled us as did the word that broke from Ford's Theater. Although Lincoln was not very beloved in New York City, his death changed the opinions of New Yorkers into those of respect, appreciation, and despair for his loss, and transformed him into the martyr he is regarded as today.